Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Office Hours with Jeff. I'm Jeff Lobb. We got Tiger Quay with us here, joining us today. I'll give him a more formal introduction. Office Hours with Jeff. We're always here talking about people that are out executing from teams to systems to marketing to really people that are just kind of going out there making a difference. While a few of you log in, this is being recorded. It's live. Feel free to come ask questions. As I start to watch some of the questions, I'll be able to populate it for you guys. But let me introduce. There it is. So let me introduce. So Nick Tiger Quay of the Nick Quay Real Estate Group. He's down in Miami, Florida. He's in a very unique market. He's a unique marketer. Also, I think, and I'll let you share this, Nick. You got something with Inman coming up. You got a little bit of accolades.
Yeah, it's really cool. I actually found out from our mutual friend, Jeff, and I was looking at working with someone, and I get an email saying, congratulations on the Inman Award. And I had just been in an Inman article that was very amazing. Jill Gilrest, or Jill North, anyway, I can't forget her last name. Anyway, she did an awesome article. So then Inman, they named me as one of the most innovative agents in the entire country. And I was like, I saw it. I was like, wait, what? I had to search for it in Google. It's so exciting. Yeah. And it's about the way that I integrated my passions from paddleboarding to technology to 3D, my service mentality, and just the way I am. And it's the coolest thing ever. I'm so excited to be up on that.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Our job here, if you don't know, people that know me by now, it's how do we get good stuff out of good people and really give actionable takeaways so we can go make some money. If we can learn one or two nuggets of how you're differentiating, I mean, let's face it, Miami is a bear of a market, man. It's probably a hot market, but the noise level of so much going on down there and so many other real estate agents has got to be a challenge to just kind of stay ahead of that curve, man. So, you're doing some things right.
Thanks.
Yeah. So we got a few people jumping on. So I got some questions coming in, and I'm going to be maneuvering our screen a little bit. But, a couple things I always have in mind when it comes to talking to people like yourself is, I want to find out the 2 or 3 things you're doing that differentiate you. And also for our audience, whether you're a brand new agent, whether you're a top producer and you're trying to figure out. I also want to know some of the struggles we face, too, because we learn the most from the mistakes we've made. And I try and be as transparent as we can here. Let's learn about, some growth stuff that you've done. So you've been a solo practitioner for a while now, migrating into somewhat of a team format, but kind of in that phase, right?
Yeah. So actually what it was is I was a solo practitioner, and then I had an opportunity to open a company. So I was a partner in a real estate firm. We had started with a small office. We grew up in a second office. And then, I got to that point that I'm thinking, okay, this is great. I own a company. I'm really happy. My name's in the logo. That was cool. And I learned so much. And then I was kind of at that point that I was like, the thing that I really missed was actually dealing with customers daily, going to their house, going to their dinners, going to their birthdays. And I really started to miss some of the reasons that I fell in love with the industry to begin with. And then I had an opportunity to do something about it. And I ended up going to a larger company, and I couldn't be happier. I freed up all this time, and now it's great. Yeah. So now, as we were speaking earlier, now I'm kind of going through that struggle of building up all this momentum between the Inman article, the Innovator Award, and all these other things that are happening in my life right now. Now what do I do? And it's how do I grow into a bigger team? And I don't necessarily need to be a $500 million team like some of the people in my office, which, let me tell you, so inspirational to see that, because they all started where I'm. Everybody started right here. Or where I started. So it's really neat. And that's what I'm doing right now, just growing and interviewing people to be full-time assistant. I have a couple of buyer's agents that I work with, and also some showing assistants. That is key, and just growing and going from there.
Well, let's talk about that challenge in general, because even as a solo practitioner, I know one of my biggest battles was facing control and giving up stuff. How much time, if you had to calculate, how much time, I'm going to call it wasting. Let's just be honest. Wasting doing stuff that's not rainmaking. Your personality that makes business. Your personality.
Yeah.
How much time are you spending on tasks that you shouldn't be? Honestly.
So that's it. So I like the way you phrase that. How much time am I spending on tasks that I shouldn't be?
Right.
Now, a lot of people will argue with you. I won't, because I already know the answer to this.
Okay.
But what you shouldn't be doing is things that you can pay someone else to do, or things that someone else does better than you. So if you're not a great designer, don't play with designs, outsource it. If you're not a good videographer, hey, we all have a cell phone. Pick it up and use it. This is fine. This is perfect. But as far as the hours, I mean, between running around checks, running things to escrow, dropping off yard signs, whatever it is, it could be anywhere from 20 to 30 hours on a, I'd say more like 30 some weeks. And this is if I only work, oi, Donnie, tudo bom como você? That's a friend of mine, Donnie, from Brazil, who's actually moving down to Florida to work in real estate. Super excited.
Great post. Yeah. Big fan.
Yeah. And anyway, so back to what I was saying is that, it's such a time suck. And, you could be the busiest agent in the world. You could work 100 hours a week, which really means 70, right? But who knows? Right. You could be the busiest agent in the world and not make any money. Or you could be the busiest agent in the world and make 60 grand. Well, it's because we're doing things that we shouldn't be doing or that somebody else could be doing. So I think the biggest struggle a lot of people say, and I have this conversation with myself and with others a lot, is how do you do this? What do you do? When do you do it? You can't be scared to invest money in yourself because it's not like you're paying someone else, and it's not like you need to have the control. You need to let up control. Like this sign behind me, I walked in today. It's one of my new yard signs. Amazing. I'll show it to you. So I told this guy Errol that's doing some work with me and some design with me. Young guy, lots of fun. He goes, well, what do you want to do? Send me your layout exactly how you want it. And I kind of looked at him and I said, no. I said, I don't want to do that. I said, I'll send you my colors, which you got, and I'll send you a couple of photos that I like. Make me laugh. I said, you already know what our company policy is a cold banker. You know what has to be on the sign. Do something fun. Make me laugh. I want to smile. I want everyone that sees my stuff to smile. So I gave up the control. The best feeling in the world is when you find somebody that jives with you, even if it's just on design side, whatever it is, and they just blow you away. And it's like, it's the coolest thing. I pick up the sign. I mean, I'm smiling talking about it. I love that, my business cards, but then being able to give up control is so key because now all I have to do is go, hey, do I want this logo or this logo? Or do I want to put my rider here or there? Simple. So it frees up all that time. And I'm not a designer. I have ideas, but I'm a horrible designer. That's why I sell real estate.
That's the beauty of what you just said too. Is designer's going to ask you to tell me what you want. Like if I knew what I wanted, I wouldn't necessarily need. Like if I know what I want, I still can't figure out how to design. I got to see it.
Yeah, I mean the way I am is sometimes I just know the emotion that I want to feel, and that's kind of unique. I was very fortunate to know what my passions were very young, and I'm a very passionate person. I put that out everywhere. I don't hide it, and so I think that to me, having the emotion and feeling the way that I want to feel and that I want others to feel, that's more important to me than having it look a specific way. Because when you put somebody that's doing design for you and being a creative person and you put them in really tight confines, then what's there? I mean, there are some brands that require this. Thank goodness mine isn't one of them. And that's one of the reasons that I did what I did. So now I have time for this. I have time to go and do a photo shoot for Inman or somebody on my paddleboard in a suit and a bow tie with my cute little dog. And that's fun. And I never had the time when I was a proprietor. There's a big difference.
So so back to that real quick, that the 20, 30 hours again on control.
Easy.
There's that's a lot of time. And we don't realize it sometimes. And I also want to challenge you on too, is we said that you could be one of the busiest persons in the world. And actually you could be busiest realtor in the world and go broke too. Because busy doesn't mean productive.
Not at all. No.
Busy does not. And so many people are like, how you doing? Oh, I'm busy. I'm super busy.
No, you're not.
Nothing. It tells me nothing.
No.
It doesn't. So productive. So that's great. So you're in that process. So I want to talk more about the details of, let's talk about some of your marketing. I mean, Miami's a freaking bear of a market to stand out. Yeah. So, you got a character behind you. You're a person and a character. How do you stand out?
Well, so I got a question for you. So just so we can preface this to everybody else watching, because I know, I travel a little bit. I go to the conferences and I go to our company ones and I talk to a lot of agents. So how many realtors do you think, and the people that are watching, how many realtors do you think are in South Florida and in Miami on our board? Just out of curiosity, somebody throw me a number. I would love to know what somebody thinks.
On the board of all of South Florida?
On the Miami Board of Realtors.
The Miami Board of Realtors.
Which is connected to Broward, so it's Miami, Fort Lauderdale. But as a main board, just throw a number.
All right, let's see. We got to see if our listeners are going to be quiet or
I think somebody wants to interact.
22,000. I would say it's going to be more like 40 or 50,000.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, so I think there's around 46 that are primary. 46,000, this is active agents with an active license. 46,000 realtors that are active right now with the Miami board, and another 20,000 that are secondary. Secondary, so we're so big down here, and so what our MLS did is we partnered up. We have Miami-Dade, Broward County, and Palm Beach. So we share. Palm Beach does have a Palm Beach Island board, but they're elitist and they don't care about us. Yeah. But so we have 20,000 that are secondary, 46,000 that are primary. That's a lot of noise. And then how many listings do you think we have on our MLS?
Out of the 46,000 agents, I don't know, 80,000?
So right now we have over 60,000. I think the number's around 64, but it changes so much. I mean, sure. But 64,000 listings. Now this is only resales. This does not include the thousands of pre-construction. So for pre-construction alone, east of I-95, I-95 is our big highway that kind of separates Miami. It's really a small area. I mean, some parts are only 6 blocks when you go east. But we have over 10,000 units right now, and I think there was around 40,000 units that was being tracked in the last couple of years that are supposed to be built by 2020. 40,000. Right. So on top of all the resales, a lot of our 4 nationals, which is upwards of, like South Beach is up to 90% of our market share is 4 national buyers cash. And in the downtown area, downtown Miami, we're close to around 80,000. It's a lot of noise. 80% of the buyers is 4 national. So the point I'm making is a lot of noise. And, like you mentioned, one of the ways to stand out for me is just being myself. I've been doing this for over 12 years now. I know what I'm talking about. And when I get into an area that I don't know, I bring in help. I'll co-list with somebody. Maybe I'll go in and I'll go in for the listing, but then I'll have someone else that works at one of our local offices work it with me. Yeah. I think making noise is good, but having the knowledge is more important. So, for example, I have clients from all over the world, and a lot of them have been here or they know Miami, but they don't know my Miami. They don't know how I enjoy it. They don't know where the best octopus is. If you want grilled octopus, I can name you 3 places right now. I had a client specifically, the reason I'm saying this, one of my clients, Steve, an amazing guy from New Jersey. I love his family to death. I spend holidays with him sometimes. I've gone up there for Christmas. I mean, this is how close I get to these people. And he loves octopus. So what I did is I went out to all my favorite restaurants, and I went to every restaurant I could find on Yelp or on Google that had the best octopus, and I tried it. Well, I actually know what my personal preference is. And so anyway, it's things like this, having that extra knowledge. Ryan, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. So, I have a dog, and I like the walker. I like condos, so that means I need dog parks and neighborhoods that have a lot of grass, a lot of trees. So I share it. I meet people at the dog park, and I invite others to say, listen, why don't you bring Sophie to come meet me, and we'll have a doggy date, and we'll, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever. I need a break from my office. Like, my office is right on Lincoln Road. So we have one of the most beautiful areas in South Beach is a half block away. So we go out, we walk around, and differentiate myself like that. I wear branded gear. I have branded shirts. I'm working on branded hats. I have a lapel pin you're going to see at Inman Conference.
Well, let's face it, too, is a lot of, doing work in your office is work, but also your clients are out at the dog park. I mean, that's where your clients are. Getting out to those places is where your business really is. It's the present place. So your dog's part of your brand too, right? Yeah.
Here, hold on. Can I show you guys something? I want to show you something. All right, let me just grab this. So she's actually become a big part of my brand, and it wasn't intentional. It's not like I went out and I said, "Hey, this is Mia."
That's a cute little thing.
So yes, that's a life jacket. So
I was gonna say she needs a life jacket too, just in case.
Yeah. Oh man, let me tell you, it's a life jacket, and that's one of my racing boards. So I do paddleboard racing, and I also coach a Special Olympic paddleboard team. So that's who I am. That's what I love. It's my passions. I also cook. So I think showing that.
Go back to that again. Let's see that paddleboard, because I'm not a paddleboard guy. So
check this out. What does this look like? Yeah. It's got the hair, the glasses. Yeah, but the paddleboard. So this is the thing. This is one of the photos that I did for the shoot for Inman. They did this really awesome article that was super flattering, and it was just about me being different and being myself. And they were asking things like, "Oh, is this real?" Name a realtor, is he in over his head? But, through the interview process, it's supposed to be a little short one, turned out like a 2-hour process. And she realized that's actually who I am. And it's just being fun and passionate, man. I think that's how I differentiate myself. And whether it's from paddleboarding or walking the dog or cooking, one of my favorite closing gifts for people was to come and cook in their house. I love to do it. It's almost like I cater, and I'll do it for fun. And I'll do a sous vide octopus. And if you don't know what that is, I cook it really slow in a water bath in a vacuum bag at 180 degrees for 4 hours. So the entire thing is one temperature. That's it. There's no more on the outside, more on the inside. I cook it perfectly. Then I'll pull it out, slap it with olive oil, throw it on a grill, and it's like the most delicate, perfect melt in your mouth. Eat it with a spoon octopus you've ever had in your life.
You do this at the house, though?
Yeah, I do it. I do it
at
their
customer for 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours at least. It sounds like.
Well, a lot of times I go, Lindsay, what's going on?
What's up, Lindsay?
Gin Blue in the house. I mean, it's a captive audience, but it's not like, so my goal isn't I'm not going to cook in their house because I want to talk to all their friends and family. I legitimately like it. It's what I like to do. I come from a service background, hospitality. So it's what I enjoy. And I think it's how this needs to be, especially when you look at luxury segments where people are selling multi-million-dollar homes. I mean, we both know people that are making, like, their paychecks are 6 figures per commission.
Sure.
If you can't provide an additional service and you don't really have a personality that caters to them, I mean, some people get it because they're like the shrewdest person on the block, and that's okay, but that's not me, And so I like to be who I am, and I like to share, and I love to talk, right? And, I love to cook. So if I could be at someone's house for 8 hours, 4 hours before the party, hanging out, cooking, it's like they're watching their own private cooking reality show, but it's right there in their house. So, the people that know me invite me over and they go, hey, I have some clients or coworkers or friends. Can you come to my house for Thanksgiving? Can you come over and cook this Saturday? And I'm like, hell yeah, it's my favorite thing to do.
You've got to turn that into even more. I mean, I know that sounds like an awesome thing. You got to turn it into like a whole family gathering. I mean, I'm sure you do. I'm sure people want to join in on that. But if you're going to do that, man, that sounds like a freaking awesome opportunity to pull in their friends and family and do a little like hosting event. I mean, let's face it, the referral business is huge.
Yeah.
So.
The way that started, it started off where I bought some really nice custom plates for one of my clients who's a foodie, and I made some ceviches. I made 3 different kinds of ceviche. I think I did a diver scallop with passion fruit. I did a black grouper, and the other one I think was wahoo. But anyway, so I did that, and I showed up, and I had these beautiful plates. And my main thing was I wanted to present these plates, but with food in them. I mean, why are you going to take an empty plate, right?
Yeah.
I brought it over. Nobody cared about the nice custom platter that I bought. They cared about the food. And they're like, wait a minute, what are you doing next week? And it just kind of started like that.
I'd have to fly you up to Jersey for a night just to cater to my wife and I. You got some good cooking skills.
Listen, if you fly me, I don't want any money for it, Jeff. I just like to cook for people. I'm serious.
But there's a let's
Put
face
me
it,
up and I'm flying.
tie that back to real estate. I mean, it's a hobby of yours, it's a passion of yours. But when you can tie that to the business, not only does it create that authenticity you're looking for with the customer, think about the experience we talk about, Look at Lindsay. She's coming over too.
Let's do it. I love New Jersey.
We're going to have a big party over here in Jersey. Now we're going to bring our boys up.
I have a client that I need to go see. Actually, he lives just outside the city. He's over in Manalapan, so I need to go see him soon.
Oh, Manalapan, yeah. So I know a lot of your clients come from these markets, but
they do.
Are you shifting? Are you in the luxury market? Are you shifting to luxury? Are you on that mid-range of luxury?
So for Miami, and I say it like that with a laugh, there's markets like New York, LA, Miami, where, you could go and see a 1970s, 1980s house, 1,800 square feet on, 8,000 square foot lot, sell for $1 million if it's in the right neighborhood. So, my average point recently has been more like in the 7s. And the reason being, a lot of my customers are repeat. I have one gentleman that I think I'm doing my 12th side with him right now. That's a good one. He called me on Christmas Eve. I was at home in DC with my family, and I took the call. My sister, Leah, I love you. She was so upset that I was taking a business call on Christmas Eve. And the guy was calling me from another country. He's calling me from South Africa, just amazing guy. And I took the call. I spoke to him, and 20 minutes later, he had an email from me. He was blown away because I took his call. He was thinking it was going to be a voicemail. But the point I'm making is being that committed to what you do and loving it. That's one of the key differences. And then, as far as where the clients are coming from, I mean, I have clients coming from everywhere. And I think, being able to understand what they're used to and what they're looking for is key. Like back to what you said about the cooking. A lot of my clients love to cook. They love to eat out. So if somebody's buying a home and the wife cooks or the family, or they have a big family, that's actually a really big deal. So I'm able to go in before they get here and say, listen, this one's not going to work for you. Tell me about your family. How many kids do you have? What are the ages? Does your grandson cook? Do you have pets? I tie all this stuff in together. And to me, it makes sense coming from the hospitality background. But,
I mean, for time purposes too, because I know we only have a certain time for the show, but I got to make sure we hit on this uniqueness that you have where, a lot of people, look, I mean, we teach real estate agents all the time, whether there's door knocking and other prospecting tools.
Oh, I know.
You have a unique way of, let's not call it door knocking. I'm going to let you, you're going to tell them what you do. And I got to hear about how you do that and if it works. Yeah. So what Jeff's talking about is what I call dock knocking. Now, what is dock knocking? We have a lot of gated communities here in Miami, and there's a lot of waterfront homes. And back to what you asked about the price point that I've been in. So yeah, I've sold homes in different price ranges. I think the biggest one that I worked with a really high-end luxury realtor that I worked for her company was 5.6 million. And I have a pocket listing for 10 million that who knows what's going to happen with that. But the point I'm making is the waterfront home. So this new campaign that I'm doing, when you saw the sign, the reason that I'm on a paddleboard with my dog, that's my personality. Also, on a regular basis, I paddleboard around these communities. A lot of these communities are gated. You can't drive into them, and you can't walk into them. I didn't realize that. So you can't get in the front gate, so you're going to get them on the waterfront.
So yeah, so the way it started is I paddleboard, and I don't just sit on my board and do this and go a mile. No, I race, and I race competitively. So I'll do 5 miles, 6 miles. That's my morning warm up. So before I want to come to work, I want to get up, enjoy the sunrise, which is glorious in Miami. It's just the most beautiful thing with water everywhere. We went a bunch of islands, and enjoy the sunrise. And as I'm doing it, guess what I'm seeing? Waterfront homes. So one day I'm out paddling around, and there was some kids playing in the backyard. I noticed there was like a volleyball and a football floating in the water. And it was low tide. Kids couldn't get to it. One of the little ones was trying to reach it. I go over, I pick up the ball, I hand it to him. I said, here you go. He threw it back to me. I caught it, almost fell in. It was fun. And I just started doing things like that. I said, wait a minute, what is this? I like talking to people. And they, especially when they see the dog, they go, oh my God, your dog's so cute. Can I see her? So I bring her over to the dock. And that's how dock knocking started. It was just, instead of walking around door to door where somebody's already on the guard, they're already ticked off that you bothered them on a Saturday. Well, they're out there enjoying their house. I'm out there enjoying the neighborhood. I live on an island, and there's single family homes around it. So what I love is my Saturday morning, I go out, I get the workout done first. And then after that, I go and I paddle closer to the homes. I take my dog. Sometimes she yaps at a couple dogs. Like everybody recognizes this now. So that's my thing. I just call it dock knocking. And it's very non-intrusive. I don't actually knock on docks, but
you're just trying to get close enough to get their attention, to get it like, hey, how's it going? I get that little conversation going. And
yeah, I got to the point that I used to wear a headset. Now I don't. I carry a little speaker on the board. So I have like motivational music or whatever. I'll turn it down or turn it off when I get close to the houses. There's certain neighborhoods like where these signs are going now. I don't want the music on because I want to be able to hear. They go, hey, Nick, or they go, cute dog. And I'm like, oh, hey. And I'm like, wow, that barbecue is amazing. I'm like, I would love to throw down and cook on that barbecue one day. And they look at me, they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm your neighbor. I live right around the corner. And let me tell you, doing things like, and this is just me having fun, honestly, Jeff. It's me having a good time. But when you're able to find your passion, whatever it is, and tie that into real estate and having the knowledge and knowing the neighborhood, knowing that the guy across the street from this person just sold for $600 a foot, knowing that the house down the street on a smaller lot just got listed for $4.2 million. That's important. So not only am I armed with all this knowledge, I also am legitimately passionate, and that's just what I like to do.
Sure.
So that's one of my big standouts for sure. All
right, so that's awesome. It's such a unique way to, and I'm not even thinking bypassing the front gates where you can't get in anyway, so you wouldn't be able to talk.
It just happened that way. It's not like I did it on purpose. I mean, no, I couldn't have planned it better, to be honest with you. I really couldn't. It's just doing what I love, and hey, that barbecue looks amazing. Can I come and throw you a party? They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, don't worry about them. I'm a realtor. Look, I got my company logo. I always wear custom shirts now. I have branded shirts. They have my little bow tie logo, so they recognize that. All the new ones have my hashtag SUP Realtor, which stands for Stand Up Paddleboard. Anyone that's in a waterfront home knows what SUP is. Most of them have paddleboards. So
So it's SUP as an SUP?
It's hashtag SUP Realtor. Yeah, that's what I've started to use now.
SUP Realtor. I got to show that baby. All right, cool. That's pretty cool. And stand up
Paddleboard.
I would have never done that.
Yeah.
So all right, so you found your niche, got your hashtag branding, you were branded gear, which is a total conversation starter. Let's talk about some of the marketing and tech you're doing, though, because I know you got some. And I want to talk about from whether it's lead gen in your web presence, whether it's there, you're working on stuff. Let's face it, everything's always a work in motion. And then let's talk about some of the stuff you're doing in the home. So
yeah, nothing's ever done.
No, it's never done. So what are you using for, like, what kind of sites are you using? Are you using lead capture sites, or what kind of stuff are you using?
So actually, this is a good conversation. So I'm transitioning from one platform to another, and I'm super excited. I could not be more happy. I've been using a system called Boomtown, and so a lot of you have heard of it. Boomtown's great, and now something that I've come to realize, as we talked about the numbers here, over 60,000 listings, over 60,000 agents. If you try to go anywhere on Google or any pay-per-click campaign in PPC or anything, and you're trying to get, that's my little sister. Leo, what's up? Love you too.
He did. If you missed before, he was giving you a shout out. He was definitely loving it.
I did.
I know you did.
So, back to what I was saying is that, it's just on the website. So, one of the cool things about it is I was on Boomtown, but being that there's over 60,000 realtors, 60,000 listings, if you try to do any pay-per-click campaigns and you're trying to drive traffic, you can pay $15, $20 for keywords like Miami Beach real estate. Forget about it. You inspire me too, sis. Love you so much. You guys are the best. So, the point I'm making is this. Boomtown is good, I think, in smaller markets. I know some agents that are getting hundreds of leads a week, and their spend is around maybe $1,000 in ad campaigns. Well, Miami was a lot different. So what I realized is when I transitioned from owning a brokerage where I had a full staff, we had, agents, I had an ISA, I had an assistant, I had a person who their only job was to go into Boomtown and do client cultivation and curation with me. Yep. They were basically my partner. Her name was Shami. She's amazing. It was from my out desk, actually. She was working remote from the Philippines. One of the sweetest, most amazing women. Just awesome. She did a lot of the design. So this is back to where we're transitioning earlier we were talking about. But, that helped. Now, what I have now is even better. Now I'm using a system called Neighborly Solutions. Mm-hmm. And actually, I met that because of you. Another guy named Jeff. Yep. I'm assuming he's watching. Where are you, Jeff? Anyway. So Neighborly Solutions. Yeah, it's really cool. And one of my favorite parts about it is this. They give you unlimited landing pages. And maybe that doesn't sound like a lot. Boomtown had me capped at like 10 or 15, and a lot of websites cap you. There's no cost for the platform to give you additional landing pages. You're talking about pennies a month. Pennies. And they want to charge you $1,000 for a bigger platform. It's insane. Our money shouldn't be sucked up by these companies that all they want to do is profit. They don't care about you. They're using generic stuff that they give to everybody all over the country. Well, in a market like this, in a highly saturated, highly competitive, very noisy market, it wasn't working for me. So with Neighborly, there's a lot of really cool landing pages going to come out. Everybody on here is going to see our Facebook posts, which a lot of them do. Targeted ads are so key right now. Facebook and Instagram. And actually, I think, are you going to be at Hacker Connect?
I will be. Yep.
Yeah. So I wasn't going to go, but now I'm like, you know what? I have to be there. There's some new things coming out with Facebook geared directly to real estate. And I don't know how much you know about it, but I'm super excited to learn a lot and to meet the guys and some of the programmers and developers there. And systems like Neighborly Solutions, small company. And I like that because they're actually valuing my insight. And I've done everything from building the $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 sites to using an all-inclusive, CRM included, drip campaign marketing monster like Boomtown to now switching to Neighborly. And one of the key things, like I mentioned, the landing pages. But the best part, I was doing SMS and geo-targeted Bluetooth marketing years ago. I owned a company called Blunami with a business partner of mine, James, awesome guy. And we were doing this 7-8 years ago. This is before the cherries. So we would say, hey, text CASA or text house to 41513, and you would get all this information in your phone. Well, what Jeff at Neighborly Solutions has done is a whole other level. I'm going to be able to integrate all of this into my landing pages, like, amazing. And then do targeted ads on Facebook, very simple, where it's just, maybe it's, value my home in Surfside, value my home in pocket neighborhoods, very, very, very micro markets. Why? It takes 5 minutes to set up a landing page. the text campaign. And every time anybody texts in from whatever ad, radio, from a park bench, it doesn't matter. Automatically, I have their cell phone number. It's a captive audience. You don't get better than that. And so that's one of the things that I'm doing right now. And I'm so excited to blow that out and do a full integration across the board.
People don't realize, even with simple landing pages, when you get too broad and cast too big of a net, consumers feel like you're fishing too big of a net. In other words, if you're looking for home values in like Dade County or Miami, that's so far spread until when you could have pages specifically to that little minutia pocket market, and you could direct that page wording to that market, people know you're local, and that's what they feel more comfortable with before they're giving you their most valuable information. So, that's really neat having that ability to go into those deeper pocket markets.
Yeah. And then actually I guess as we're talking about it, like one of the cool things too is that, using a system like this where everything's integrated, there's automatic drip campaigns, which I run that a long time ago. You can use a CRM, you can have a website, you can have 6 different systems. And some people that works for me, when I scaled it back to where it's mostly me, depending on myself. And the other people that I have working for me right now, they're not doing a lot of my back end stuff. Like this is kind of where the time suck comes from. This is what we talked about earlier, is how do I now get where I'm giving up control? Being able to have everything in one place for me is key. There's an app on my phone. I get a text message. And one of the other key things, I keep on dropping Neighborly, but one of the key things there is it's perfect for teams. So as I grow again, whether it's I have an agent that works Surfside with me, I have another one that works Brickle, one that works the hammocks, one that works Key Biscayne, I'll be able to easily tie that person into every single communication. And only I have access to delete it. So the cool thing is, that's my mom saying video stuff. Thanks, Mom. I will in a second.
We'll get there.
Yeah. So anyway, what I'm saying is that tying all this in is key, because now I don't have to stress out. I don't have to wonder, was there communication? Before I would give out a lead, I'm not copied on this. I'm not copying it a text message. Now they get an SMS, they get a link, they get a landing page, they get the home value, whatever it is. When my agent or my teammate or my assistant, whoever it's going to be, texts back, I get copied in it. So I see the entire communication string. So that to me is a key thing that's going to simplify my life. I don't have to stress. I could be at Inman with you. I could be in New Jersey cooking dinner in your house, and I'm still going to be up to date. I don't ever have to wonder, did so-and-so follow up on this lead? I'm never going to have. So anyway, that was just one of the things that I wanted to mention.
Well, I want to clarify too is, especially when you're managing leads and you're giving leads out, one of the biggest things I've even been talking about, even on my coaching calls and team calls, literally this week, is that timely, is what do you do when people feel their leads are burnt? Like there are people that haven't followed up on stuff in January, February, March, April, May, like stuff that hasn't been properly these leads, there's money sitting in them. There's money there.
I know.
You could follow up on these things and stay on top. And if you have somebody that's not working them properly, you can either reassign them, you could either refocus on them to convert them back because you already paid for them,
Yeah, I mean, one of the good things about using the fully integrated system too is that everything's there. You don't have to wonder, did they follow up? Because my rule is, it's my money. I'm paying for it. It's my clients. We're going to share it. You're going to help me. You're going to make money. And listen, let me tell you, paying everybody very well is a key thing. Yeah. I always have arguments here in my office where I'm like overpaying somebody to do something. And, it's to me, it's about building, right? And it's about building a relationship. And I've been doing this for 12 years and I've seen a lot of things. And I've been in offices where somebody is showing a $10 million property, and at closing, even though they sold the property, they showed it, they convinced the buyer to get the property. Maybe they get $750. I mean, for $10 million, probably $1,500, but they were paying very little. So I think that as you scale, bringing people in that are able to grow with you, because nobody wants to be not many people, rather, I should say, want to be an assistant forever, especially if they already have a real estate license.
That's right.
You got to find the people that have the drive, have the motivation, and hopefully they're better at something than you are, whether it's social media or maybe they're just available when you're not, whatever it is. Find that person and grow with them. And these are just those things, again, where you're able to put it all together, one place, keep it organized, and just grow. And that's kind of the path that I'm on right now.
All right. Well, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about some of your video marketing. I know you do. I know you love video. I even watched some of your stuff.
3D, yeah.
Well, we have 3D. I think you're using some Matterport stuff.
All right, I'll make it quick.
But well, you don't have to make it quick. But I also want to tell you, I did share, and there's an old YouTube video clip of you. I see this pool.
Oh no!
And I see this swimming towards me, and I see this head pop up with the goggles on. Hey, welcome to whatever. You were at a resort, or you were doing something.
Fairmount Bay. Yeah,
it's like 2013. So you were effectively still, back then. With that space, that's cutting edge for 2013.
Let me tell you. Yeah. So, oh man, I love it. Yeah, we have to share that. So, yeah, that's actually my favorite too. And the reason it's my favorite is this: it was the first big production that I did, and I did it all scripted. And let me just tell you, now none of my videos now are scripted. All I do now is I get talking points. I'll do talking points, and I'll lay out a couple of things that are key. But that's it. Very simple. No sentences. That whole video was great. So it was Paramount Bay. It was a brand new building. I'd sold some units there pre-construction. It's still my favorite. And I'm swimming across. I'm a swimmer, so I'm doing butterfly. And I pop up and I go, "Hi, neighbor. I'm Nick Quay. Join me for a day in Paramount Bay." And literally, it's so funny.
You're shooting pool with them. You were doing all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah, I was shooting pool because, listen, it's a lifestyle. Living in that building is a lifestyle. They had, at the time, they had a Jeep limousine.
Yeah.
I'm in the Jeep limousine, and I go up and I'm popping champagne. And at the end of the video, I was with one of my really dear friends, Lily, who's a client, dear friend, love her to death. And we pop champagne in a hot tub as the sun's going down. And, it's the lifestyle. So it was so funny. And then from there, my videos have gotten a lot better. Now I work with this guy named Gianmarco. I love them. Finding key people to do your production is important. The first girl I worked with, she was great. I learned a lot. And from Gianmarco, I've learned so much more. My videos now are insane because, we were using drones years ago. And when I had my company open, we would do videos for every single property. I would do neighborhood videos, lifestyle videos, videos for listings. And it gets a lot of attention. I would go to conferences and go to things locally and nationally, and people would go, "You're that guy." And I'm like, "Did you see me on TV?" I'm making a joke. And they're like, "No, you're that video guy, or you're that bow tie guy." And I'm like, it makes a difference because it stands out. Now there's a lot of companies doing it, but things like that. And then, any time that I can do a cannonball into somebody's pool in a suit and a bow tie, I'm there. Yeah. And it's just, why not, man? It's having fun, and I don't take life too serious. And I try really hard to not be stressed. And doing videos is such a release for me. It's so much fun.
To most people, it's stressful as hell. So are you shooting?
The coolest thing. Put a camera on me. I don't stop, man. I love it.
When you're doing like photos for marketing of a home, are you,
yeah.
Are you doing photos? Are they your photos? Professional? Are you paying a photographer? What are you doing? Video?
No. So what I do is on the pre-listing appointment or a pop-by or sometimes a listing and presentation, a lot of times I'll go in and I take my phone and I do a quick little video only because I'm sending it to my videographer and the photographer. I'm really big on features. So I'm one of those guys that I look at the house as functional. If there's a hot tub that I think it should be shot, I want that thing full of bubbles, candles, flowers. Sometimes if I see a kitchen, I want to get in there and I want to know that it's a functional kitchen. So I want the water running. I want something on. I want the table set. I hire a crew. I have a production team that does the videos. And they're very creative as well. So he taught me, this guy Gianmarco taught me a lot about storyboarding and the importance of it. So that's key. You have, selling real estate, especially in a market like we talked about, 60,000 agents, you have to tell stories. My photography tells stories. So I use high-end photography, professional photographers. I have two that I love. Robert Sullivan is an amazing guy. He took the water photo of me and the dog. He's a paddleboarder, an amazing gentleman, does some awesome projects. I love him. I love to work with him. He loves selling high-end real estate. He loves telling stories. He loves all this crazy stuff. He loves my ideas. So that's key. And then the other side of the video, they handle everything. I show up, I have fun, I laugh, I giggle, but they really keep me in check, And the funniest one, did you see the one of me breaking in a house? Did you see that?
No.
All right, I'll post a link. So I have to preface this. I had a new, I saw a lot of pre-construction also. So one of the new homes that I had, my tenant was moving in the next week on a Monday. Thursday I go over, I find out the whole house had been stripped. Somebody broke into the house, stole all the appliances. Brand new home, stainless steel appliances. It was the third home to be sold, or the third home to be built rather in that community. They stripped it. So I'm all upset. I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? My client's out of the country. I got to handle this. What do I say? So then Friday morning, I'm in the shower Friday morning the next day, and I start laughing hysterically. I literally get out of the shower, still wet, and I call Gianmarco. And I go, Gianmarco, we're going to shoot a video. And he's like, Nick, okay. He's got this awesome Italian accent. He's like, Nick, okay. Tell me, I want to know. I'm laughing. He's like, this is going to be good, you know? And I said, we're going to shoot it. It's going to be me. I'm going to break in a house. In silence. And he's like, no, seriously, what are we going to do? And I said, I'm going to break in a house. And I said, listen, somebody broke in my house last night. They stole the appliances. I'm so upset. I need to do something about this. So I shot a video about how to safeguard your home. So it ended up being a safety video on how to safeguard a new home, things to watch out for, why a security system matters. I called police officers. I called a really good friend of mine, who's an urban search and rescue specialist in DC. And we talked about the whole thing, but it was awesome. So then we did this video, and it's me going in, blackout suit, the car, I go in the garage. It scared the crap out of me. 18 seconds or less, and I was inside the house with my car in the garage and everything closed. It's doing things like that really stand out.
Is this on YouTube?
It's on you. Yeah, I might have made it private actually. I'll send it to you. I'll post it. And then you asked about the 3D. So 3D technology. I've been using a Matterport for almost 3 years. I was the first broker that I know of in Florida to have one. I own my own. You know, I believe in investing in things sometimes, and that was one of them. And so I do have people that go and scan for me. I do like to go and scan myself a little bit just because I use it as a marketing piece. A lot of people see me live on Facebook. They like it. I don't do it all the time, but it's fun. You know, I'm scanning, and it's this big box. It's got nine lenses, 6 lasers, and it's spins around.
Yep,
and then
cool.
It creates a user-controlled virtual tour, 100%. So I'm able to do 24-hour-a-day open houses to any buyer anywhere in the world. Awesome. And actually, proof of concept here. My last couple of deals, one of my last ones, I represented the seller and the buyer. I never met the buyer until after closing. He called me from Israel. I sent him the link, and I said, here, I'll bring you into the house. He's like, no, but I'm not coming for a few weeks. And I said, no, you're going to buy the property today. Here's why. I sent him a link on his phone. I sent him a link on his computer. And then right there, he's able to walk through the house. Or if you want to, you can also use, I'm really big into VR. So you could use this. You don't have to have a VR headset for Matterport. It works on any device. But let me tell you, bringing people into my houses 24 hours a day, that separated me years ago. Now it's still a big part of my business. I take it to my listing presentations. It's even on my business card. I know Matterport's gonna love this. So this is one of my cameras here.
I got it. Up a little higher. Oh, there you go. You're on the camera. Oh, I got you. Yeah. And then
actually, I don't know if you saw it. Have you seen this one yet? So this is another one that Robert shot.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is, and this is actually one of my listings. But the point I'm making is video is key. It's so important. And then I think the story, and showing the story through high-end photography, video, use of 3D immersive technology. Now we're getting into augmented reality as well. It's crucial. And that me being a person who sells mostly for nationals and non-locals, probably 80%, it's crucial to my business. And it's really made a big difference in my life.
So I'm going to tell you something cool that I'll even be thrilled to get you on as a beta tester too, as it rolls.
Sure.
I don't even think it's not talked about. So I have, I have clients that are all over the country. Sometimes they bring me in for either execution of their product or UI experience or whatever it might be. So I've been over to London to see these guys with a product that was called View Eat. Now they have a product called Smart Viewing. It's an evolution of it. It's called Smart Viewing. And it's basically taking the platform like you're talking about, having whether it's a Matterport tour or a 360 tour or any type of a tour, being able to not only having it hosted, but be able to invite you almost like internally to a webinar where you and I are live.
Oh,
and
fun.
I'm showing you the virtual walkthrough. So I'm not sending it to you, telling you to walk through it yourself. You're sending it to them and saying, let me show you around, and you're walking them through the home. So
wow.
you're moderating the walkthrough basically. So it's like a smart. So instead of losing control of that conversation, you are now, like if we were in a webinar, you're doing the walkthrough, you clicking, let's go look at the living room. You click to the living room, it walks you to the living room. So you're in control, but you could also do that virtual open house to anybody on a Friday night and say, hey, I'm showing this house on Friday night virtually. Come join me at 8:00. Bring your coffee and beer or wine, and I'm going to walk you through this beautiful home.
Yeah. Well, that's actually.
Yeah. So it's control versus losing control. So it's kind of neat coming.
Now, you have to get me in on that. I mean, you can't tell me something about this live in front of everybody watching and not get me in on the data, Jeff. I mean, that would just be unfair.
I'm working with these guys coming to the States. I mean, there's some similar products out there too. These guys have some good features, but definitely, that's how today I see virtual being is,
Sure.
I can do an open house on a Sunday and still meet people face to face, but I could also generate some leads on a Wednesday night sitting here saying, hey, anybody want to see an awesome new condo that just came on the market? You haven't even had a chance to see it on the MLS just yet, or it's just hitting the MLS tonight. Here you go. Generating that activity, even if you're capturing the leads from the registrations, answering questions, and then turning it over to an appointment. So
that's perfect.
That productivity tool is going to just save us some time while we can still do in-person open houses. So you're using Matterport.
Yes.
Photography. Anything else marketing-wise?
Yeah. I use I have a list over here somewhere. It's actually so something else that I've been doing for many years. Skype video. I've had a lot of clients that are from New Jersey. One of my really good friends, Ross, I met him it's just so funny for me. A lot of these people start off as my clients, and they become basically family for me now. I'm going to be seeing him next week when I come out to California. He was in New Jersey. Hi, Ross. Hope you're watching. And he was in New Jersey, and there was this property, Miami Beach, he really wanted to see. I knew it was going to go fast, so I went out there and I had him on Skype. So I do a lot of things like that where I'll walk through. And then I think for the 3D, when I have done that for somebody, I'm doing a screen share. It's a little spotty. So if you're able to come up with a platform or somebody that's at a higher level, it's going to change my life. As far as other marketing, BombBomb. I know you love BombBomb. You use it.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk about that.
Well, okay, so you're using BombBomb. Let's talk about the how.
Yes.
So what are you using it for day to day? Is it weekly? Is it a monthly thing?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, when I can use it daily, I use it daily. The reason is there's an app. You go in, you get an email, and let's say that I'm working with Jeff. Jeff, you're buying a $2 million house, and you're in New Jersey, and you want to know how the inspection went. Okay, so inspection went great. Here's me. I go to my app. I go, Jeff, boom, record. Hey, Jeff, this is Nick Quay. Just wanted to let you know the inspection went great. There was no major issues, no concerns to be worried about. Looking forward to seeing you soon. You're going to get a link in about 5 minutes from the inspection report. Go ahead and call me if you have any questions. Have a good day. See you at dinner in New Jersey. Send. That's it. That's it. I didn't have to pull over. I didn't have to go anywhere. I could be at the dog park. I could be on the boat. I could be at the pool or in my office. Doesn't matter. It's so quick. And then instead of him getting an email and going, oh, do I want to read this? He can be busy or be anywhere, on vacation, on a plane, doesn't matter. And he just goes, boom, click. He goes, oh, look, Nick sent me another video. And, the best part about this is if I can do it from inside the home. So if I'm able to shoot inside the home and I'm in the house, like, maybe I'm in the kitchen or I'm at the pool or I'm going, dude, I can't wait to do a cannonball in this pool, and it's things like that. But being able to relay that really quick, really concise. I don't care about is it perfect. In fact, I like imperfections. And I don't know if you've talked about this, but
all the time.
Yeah. So imperfections are good. And the reason is, if you come off like a freaking robot, no one's going to trust you. I'm not a used car salesman. None of my stuff is rehearsed. Like I said, talking points only. And the biggest thing when you're doing video, whether it's Facebook Live or anything else, sometimes you have to shut up. And I know I rambled a little bit today, and I'm sorry for that. I know. Hey, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Man. You don't even know.
So, but also, here's another feature. I don't know I'm sure you've either used it, but also one of the features I liked about, I stay on top of BombBomb all the time.
Oh, you can see when they see it.
Well, you can see the tracking, but here's another feature they've added. They allow you to swap, you have an inside camera and outside camera. So let's take your home inspection again. If you're doing that little video message. Actually, see, I got a little, see how I'm a BombBomb fan. Look, there's my BombBomb logo right there.
Oh, nice.
On my little holder, which I couldn't live without this damn thing at this point. But anyway, so I'm shooting the video. Now, like you might say, hey, you know what? They found one little thing in the backyard. It's not that big of a deal. You could flip the camera to the other side. Hey, take a quick peek at it if you're not around. I'm sure.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, so now they have the functionality where you can use both cameras in and out. So if you're doing something like, hey, I just wanted to share this really cool new restaurant. I'm here downtown in front of the restaurant, then you can reverse it.
Even better. Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit more, mixing it up too. So they just added that feature not too long ago. Just keeps it real, and keeps you going for capturing an audience. So, all right, cool. So,
and then you want to talk about tech gear really quick?
Yeah, sure.
Or no?
Yeah, so, quick. 3 minutes.
So I've been a techie for a long time. So one of my favorite things to use is I like Samsung gear. I love what they're doing with like Smart Hub, all the cool in-home integration, Smart Kitchen. but I love 360 cameras, and it goes back to the whole immersive thing. I'm working on streaming live 360, which I still haven't figured it out, but I'm almost there. I can do it on YouTube. I can stream live on YouTube, but the point is, you have this little camera, right, and it sees everything all the way around. So it's just something unique, and it's something that I've been doing. I pre-ordered, so I had the camera before you could buy them in the store. But I love my Samsung Gear 360. I have the 2017 and the original one. I'm working on doing things that have what's called spatial audio, and if something's happening over there, and you look at it, you'll hear it more than something happening behind me. So that's something I'm playing with now. I'm really excited about technology and all the new things coming out. And Facebook has spatial audio, but not for 360 Live yet. But it's coming, guys. It's coming, and it's so exciting.
It is. And give me the name of that Samsung. I'm going to post it up on the screen for everybody too. Samsung.
I use what's called the Samsung Gear 360.
Gear 360.
And I think I actually have one here.
I'll share what I'm using too. I'm using the Theta still.
Yeah, I like the Theta. There's differences though. Well, I have a Samsung phone, and I am a Samsung guy. So this is my new 360. This is the 2017 model.
Okay, cool.
And actually, I have an original. So if anybody wants to get one, I'll sell it to you with an extra battery and everything really cheap. No, because I don't need two. But the point is, I have the original. I would love to teach somebody how to use it and give it to you and see your new videos. That's how much I'm passionate about the industry. But
so
yeah,
show me that again. I like that 360. Let me see it again.
Oh, I put it back in the bag.
Will it work with iPhone? Will it work with my iPhone?
This one actually will. You know what? It will. This one does work with iPhone.
Exclusive to their stuff.
Well, you're going to see it next week because I'm going to be doing a video with you that you don't know about yet. But you have to do. Oh yeah, Jeff, we have to, brother. We're going to have to do it for you. And bow ties. Got to wear a bow tie. Yeah,
I think the last photo I have, and I would share it here, but I'll post it later. Is
Sure.
I have a picture of you and I at Inman last time where I'm up on the chair.
Oh.
So he's much taller than I. So I'll post this picture. It's pretty funny, but we're both wearing our bow ties. It's where we first kind of really connected.
Awesome.
I'm up on the friggin' chair standing next to him for a photo. So look, I don't care anymore. It is what it is.
I mean, I'm 6'2", and sometimes I wear, like the big Italian shoes. So it was a good picture. Anyway.
We'll see it again. So let's do a quick recap. So marketing in a noisy market, you've differentiated with your dock knocking, which just simply was a passion, but just shows that if you take a passion and you learn that you just got to go find where the people are, that's the business.
Basically. Yeah.
You can find more reasons to go find people to talk to. That's half our battle.
It's also honest and authentic, and you can't be authentic. Like I know a few agents that I'm not going to name drop, but I almost want to, that are copying me, but they're not authentic. They're like, they don't know how to paddleboard. They don't care about the sport. They don't care about the water. They don't care about the animals. They don't care about the people. They're just trying to do what I did because it worked for me, and which is fine. Thank you guys, because it makes me know that I did something right. But
sure.
Being authentic, and it doesn't matter what it is, whether you're a photographer, whether you have little kids and your baby's your passion. Amazing. Go hang out with other people that are like-minded. Find people that understand your passion and share your passion. I've made more connections over food and water than anything else in the industry in years. And it's the truth because I exude that. It's part of my social media. Look at my marketing. I love animals. It's part of my marketing. But it legitimately is who I am. And I think when you put everything out and you just 200% yourself, and that's it. And sometimes you got to turn it on a little bit. You got to crank it up for social media, crank it up for videos, and be a little bit bigger. It's so authentic, man. Everybody loves it. And I think that's really what one of the main keys to being a successful agent today is.
I appreciate that. So, you've got that. You're shifting over to neighborly solutions. You're using BombBomb, using 360 camera. You got Matterport going on. And you're elevating your market to what's a high-end range to even sometimes luxury at this point in between. So,
yeah, like the new average price point that I'm looking at is going to be closer to $2 million. All my campaigns that are going out now, the cheapest homes are in the 900s, which is still great. Don't get me wrong. That's for a teardown. And the average home is around 2. So if my average was up around $1.5 million for my personal average sales, I'm still happy there. And I'm definitely doing that now. And that's what's going to happen in the next 6 months.
Same amount of work. And the transaction anyway. The transaction is the same work, whether it's
the same work.
$200,000 house or 1.5. There might be a few nuances that are different, but transactionally, come on.
Sometimes it's less work. It's less work to sell a luxury home to a point because most of those buyers don't live here. There's less inventory. They're looking at less homes, and they have very discerning palates. They connect with me for a very specific reason, and they know exactly what they want. Maybe they have an Italian grandmother who has to have an open kitchen and she has to have an outdoor kitchen. So I have to look at it. Does it have it, or can I have it built? If I can have it built, it's an option. If not, it's not going to work. Now's not the time. But that's definitely key, just like you said, is just upping the price point. Makes a big difference, less work.
Awesome. Well, listen, thanks for your time. I'm going to wrap up our show. Nick Tiger Quay down in Miami. We'll call a banker. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to see you next week in San Francisco. And for those who are watching, tune in the next couple of weeks. So real quick, if you're watching now, next week we have a special guest. I'm going to be posting that very soon. I'm also going to be doing a special show from Inman. I think it's going to be on that Wednesday. We're going to go live from Inman somewhere on premise, updating on what's taking place in San Francisco and all the new content that's coming out.
That's going to be so awesome.
It'll be on a Wednesday. So anyway, thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you so much, Jeff, and thank you for being on your show, man. This is just you're literally one of my favorite speakers ever. I mean, my friends that don't know who Jeff is, you have to follow him. He's got so much information, so much knowledge. He loves to share. He's a fun guy. And let me tell you, following people like this will change your life.
Well, thank you. I'm honored. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. All right, man. We're out. We'll see you soon.
All right, brother. See ya. Bye, guys.
Yeah. Ciao.